And welcome back. This is Frost Gaming 25, and today we're going to be looking at Diablo 3 Season 30's PTR here. I specifically noticed in the patch notes that there was a set that stood out above the others. As you can see, it's on the screen now. And yes, we are level 23. I just got into the PTR, but I was able to get everything worn and set to level 1 because in Season 30, they are actually making it so that you have the ability to get the Altar of Rites again, which allows for items to have no level requirement. Now, with that being said, we also have one more cool little thing that comes back, which I won't be able to showcase as easily, but we will eventually be able to showcase it. But essentially, the Altar of Rites is also being paired with the Reflections. So now we're on T6, just so we can speed through the levels. What I'm going to do, though, I don't really have my build set up properly currently. I'm actually going to try to make it a little bit better than what it is right now. But yeah, there's a lot of things we're still missing for this build to really work. But I just want to showcase the difference that the change that they made actually did. Which I will go over that change very shortly. I just need to... Let's see here. Let's see. I want... I think for now we'll use that if we can. Oh, it's 61. Well, we'll put it in the cube for now.
Very well.
For now.
Listen. The small minds that surround me ignore my greatness.
Okay.
And then kill me first.
Okay. To start this off, I want to actually showcase what the set does now, or well, what changes they made. And essentially, this set used to just be your, I think it was 80% or 60% more, or 60,000% more damage to an attack. Now, if you look right here, the 6th set actually now does an additional 120,000 weapon damage to the first enemy hit. So, give or take, anything that you hit with this set, or with Impale specifically, just dies. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's just wiped from existence. You can go pretty high on the Greater of Tears just using this set, just because you can kill everything without without any issue. But one thing that really makes this shine, which I don't know if I have yet, is either over penetration's pretty good, but ricochet is my favorite. So typically you would want to use ricochet with this, just so that it ricochets to more enemies, gives more shots to do more damage. Well, I don't have that ability quite yet, so for now we're just going to do we'll do the chemical burn for right now, but later on we will end up switching to ricochet. But let's just give this a try and see how we do on T6. I don't see it being an issue. I think we're going to be wiping them even as it stands. Judging by a 68 bill, I'm thinking that we are not going to have trouble all the way to 70. So this is why you'd want some kind of an over-penetration or some way of actually doing the damage outside of the main attack. So what I'll do is, hopefully we're high enough of a level now. Okay, we at least have over-penetration. So now we can hit multiple enemies behind it, so we have some way of doing AoE of sorts. But even the enemies behind the main hit are still 40,000% more damage, which is insanely high. As you can see, it easily wiped out the enemy behind it.
Accustomed to that. I've become more formidable. I could get accustomed to that. I have more control now. Sweet revenge!
Okay, we got a goblin roof.
I could get accustomed to that. Your fear betrays you!
Oh, that was easy. I don't think I'm going to take any of these items just because it's not necessarily worth it. Although, I guess we can take the plans because we need the plans. I really don't think I need any of this stuff. Let's see what the helm is. Yeah, no, none of this will be really worth anything. But it's still cool to see. In an actual season, I would have actually taken that, but since it's the PTR, it's not as worth it.
Do you want more? Darkness awaits you!
The Rift Guardian is here.
How satisfying. My pack is full.
Oh my god. Well, the bloodshots are always nice, but we can't hold them.
I'm overburdened. I need to go back.
One thing that should be noted, and I will note right now, is you can actually go and stray away from using this as a weapon. The reason being, if I were to say extract this, and I can do that because I can get another one if I want to, but I think I might do it just because it's a cool little trick you can do. A lot of people do this on the main game, and it typically is something that's followed like religiously. Is people use this bow not necessarily because it does the multi-shot damage, but because it reduces all resource costs by 46%. So effectively, I can make my impale almost nothing, which is a very powerful thing. The one downside to it, and this is a downside, is because I have the bow equipped, I don't get the two set on this effect. So I don't get that additional 6,000% damage. So if you need resource reduction, and you don't really care so much for the extra damage right now, I don't really care for the extra damage because I'm doing plenty. But if you don't mind, you can skip out on 6,000% extra damage and go with the Yang's recurve, which will give you resource reduction, allowing you to do a lot more attacks to pretty much no cost at all. Let's see here. This is pretty useful if you're having problems with resource gen. The other one that is pretty useful is the ambush, but that doesn't help you with resource necessarily. Yeah, that's most everything that I would typically use. This is also pretty useful if you need discipline. But right now, we're not really using a resource or a discipline heavy build. Okay. One thing I also want to do is I want to put a socket on my current weapon here. Oop. I already had the thing on me. We're going to put this down on it so we can get the extra experience. Just to hopefully level up a little bit faster. We also can put a Leorix on, which, if we do that, we have to switch out our helmet's gem. Yeah, so we can put this in the cube.
Not what I would do, but when is that stopped you?
Okay. Just have to take that off. And put on this. So that'll give us a little bit of extra experience, allowing us to level a little bit faster, because ultimately we want to get to 70. That's the goal.
Unleash your power.
I feel more powerful. I feel more powerful. I have to get accustomed to that. How satisfying. I have to get accustomed to that.
We're almost at our level for Ricochet, so once we get there, I'm gonna switch out my skill.
My training has paid off. paid off. My training has paid off.
Okay, we should be at the level. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch to Ricochet. So eventually it'll be useful to go back to this or the other skill, over penetration. But I don't have the ability to split my knives and make three knives every time I attack. And until then, it'll be better just to do this.
My training has paid off.
That way it guarantees me that I at least knock down 3 enemies at the same time.
I can't carry any more.
Oh my god.
How satisfying. Darkness awaits you.
The Rift Guardian has arrived.
I feel more
Eh.
powerful. I'm overburdened.
Long ago, I would open rifts for nothing to help them train for battle. They fought bravely, facing down enemies in places pulled from the deepest corners of their memories. Ours is a
On to the
race
next
of
one.
great power, but we are nothing unless we temper it with skill. If you're
How satisfying.
I believe it's the offhand. I think.
Where's my wife? Is she all right?
Yep, it's the offhand. I can actually... Let's try to get that real quick, just to give ourselves a little bit extra damage. Offhand attack. I believe we got it. Now I can switch back to the other one.
Laura,
Yes?
why do you keep glancing over at Kadala?
Oh wow, and it's ancient.
Making sure she is
Perfect
not
ancient.
anything suspicious.
Perfect. That works for me. Let's go switch back to over penetration again. We're just gonna get a little bit more bang for our buck with this.
unleash your power.
So this
can bring that down.
makes this a build what it is. Because being able to throw 3
Accustomed to that.
projectiles that infinitely can pierce, you can pretty much clear everything.
My
And this is where the 40,000% really kicks in.
Has become more formidable.
Your fear betrays you!
How satisfying.
Feel my wrath!
Your training has paid off.
Your fear betrays you!
How satisfying.
Bleed, you filth!
I've become more formidable.
Vengeance! Do you want more?
I should get accustomed to that.
The Rift Guardian has found you.
I can't carry any more.
Yeah.
My pack is full.
Yeah, let's try to get the last 2 bars we need to level up.
I feel more powerful.
There we go.
I need to go back.
Okay, now we're gonna go back to town. Now that we're level 70, we can start actually trying out this build for a full build here. I am going to use awareness just because I am playing on hardcore, but
I feel more powerful.
if you weren't playing on hardcore, you would not have to even consider using that. Okay. Let me up the difficulty here. I want to go right to T16 and see if I'm doing enough damage. Now, survivability-wise, I'm not doing well enough on the survivability side of things, but for damage, I might be doing enough damage. That's how I want to just prove how crazy that number is. Because it is crazy. I'm going to go ahead and switch. Let's see here. We're going to go switch this out. just to give a little bit more defense. 4 million toughness is not much of anything. And then we're going to get the ring pack. Oh, the joy pack. We need to use the offhand or the rings to give us a little bit more damage reduction here. Let's see. If you really wanted to, you could switch out the Shadows. You could use a Royal Ring. Switch out the Shadow's Bane for the resource. While you're above 95% or 90% resource, you get 50% damage reduction. You could use that if you're struggling for keeping yourself alive. Unity also helps if you can keep your follower alive. I think Unity is not a bad idea right now. Other than that, I don't know if I actually got the ring that I need for the survivability. Okay, looks like I still have to get the survivability ring. I don't think it comes from these, as it's showing me right now. Let's get the follower item here. Okay, it apparently equips the follower completely. Let's use... I mean, we could use any of these followers. To be honest, I'll just use the Templar. We'll give ourselves some extra life. And then... we'll do the stun. We'll do the slow. And taunt, I guess. Okay, so these should have the specific roles for each of the different variants here. Yep. So by putting this on, he can't die anymore. We really don't need him to do damage and stuff, which technically we can get him to do because of the... if we use the items that were provided here, we could allow him to do that. But he really doesn't need to be here for the extra damage. I'm just going to check and make sure none of these rings are usable. Oh, this is the Unity, so I don't have to roll that, which is nice. Okay, we'll use that. That's a 50% damage reduction right there. That's something. And then, let's just see how we do. Well, I just genuinely am curious how damage is with the 120,000% damage multiplier. Let's see what we can actually do to an enemy on this difficulty right from the get-go. I'm only 6 Paragons, so it's not like I have a lot of Paragons to stand here with.
I'm injured.
Oh, that's actually still not doing... okay, that's fine. I thought it would be doing a lot more. Unless if I'm missing something here. No, that's... odd. Interesting. Maybe I'm missing something. Man, and I got that too? Interesting. I will have to look at it. That's quite odd. I would have expected a much higher damage, but it is what it is. Okay, well, with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.